Data scientists are a very special breed of people. Gartner would tell you that data science role is the most important role driving exploitation of data in organizations. So where do you find these people? So I interview a lot of these candidates for data scientists, and there are 6 things that I generally look for. The first thing I look for is really a personality characteristic. I want someone who's really curious. And actually, the best data scientists, they're really annoying people. Like, have you ever taken a 2-year-old walking through the park? No, he's why? So annoying. They never take what you tell them, at face value. They always want to know why. But actually, those annoying people are great data scientists because they want to see the data, they want to get inside of it, and they don't accept things at face value. This is a very important personality characteristic for a data scientist. The second thing I'm looking for is a good sense of intuition. Yeah, data science, in the end, it's an experimental science. You have a hypothesis, and we're going to try out an idea, and then we're going to test the idea, and it works or it doesn't work. But there's a big difference between someone who has, 99 ideas before they find the pot of gold versus 9 ideas. That's intuition. That's the business, that's a feel of your gut. So good business sense, good intuition, good gut of the stomach matters because it means I can have fewer failures before I find that pot of gold success. Now again, I'm not afraid of the failures. Failures are part of the process, but fewer is probably better than more in order to optimize return on investment. The next thing I'm looking for is the ability to gather the data. My experience is that computer scientists are not typically the best data scientists because computer scientists, they want to build code. For a data scientist, a true data scientist, code is a necessary evil. It's just a tool to get access to the data. Data science is about the data. And so we want people who have the skills to, gather the data, to process the data. They should know SQL, they should know Python, they should know the basic tools for getting things done. But they also know how to design experiments. Because if the data doesn't exist, you have to figure out how you're going to get the data. So this experimental design is important, and then you sort of gather the data and process the data. The next thing I look for is a deep understanding of statistics. What I find, at least in the US, if you go to a good university, you've got the math down. You've done your differential equations and your linear algebra and all those kinds of things. You'll have way more math than you ever need. But we don't teach enough about statistics. I'm willing to assume someone has the math, but do they understand the difference between causality and correlation? Do they understand expected value theory? Do they understand how to take a random sample with statistical significance and use that to drive the data science? And I often find that choice of algorithms and deeper understanding of statistics is missing in some people that put data science on their CV. I want people to be comfortable using the historical data to predict the future. The analytic modeling is more than just pushing buttons on a tool. It's understanding how to use historical data and predict outcomes without building correlation models, without overfitting the data. Lastly, I want my data scientists to be good communicators. If you do all this amazing stuff and you can't explain it to the business without using the term R squared, they're not going to understand. It's not going to have value to them. You have to be able to communicate clearly and in non-technical terms. This is an undervalued skill. It can be taught, it can be learned, and people need to invest in that skill to really excel in the data science role. So these are the 6 things that I look for: curiosity, intuition, data gathering, statistics, analytical modeling, and communication. Now, my friend says there's one missing from my list. They should also be a unicorn, because the probability of one person having all of these characteristics is the same likelihood that they're a unicorn, meaning they don't exist. The reality is good data science teams are people working together, not individuals. And you need to build your team in such a way that they complement each other's strengths and weaknesses to get a strong team. Now the question is, where to find these data scientists. The obvious choices, PhDs in statistics and actuarial sciences, those people have already been hired. Where do you look? You look where people have a background, typically in the hard sciences, physics, chemistry, astronomy. People that study in these disciplines do it because they are innately curious. You don't study physics if you're not curious. They understand the math. They understand statistics, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and so on. You understand uncertainty as part of studying those disciplines. They understand how to get the data. So I want applied physicists, not theoretical physicists, people that actually design experiments and analyze the data. They maybe don't have the business intuition, maybe they don't have all the communication skills to a business audience, but you can complement them with people that do have those skills. And my experience is you will get very good results from these people with hard sciences. Also, people who study social sciences, where they did experiments and gathered data from surveys and had to analyze the data, those are often good candidates. People that studied econometrics, the mathematical side of economics, are also good candidates. So I would look for these people outside of the obvious places of statistical and actuarial sciences, and find these people. At MIT, we have this joke that people who studied physics either teach physics or they have no job. Give them a job. Your return on investment in that person will generally be very, very good.